What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to the Crypto Catch Up. Of course, your number one place to catch up on crypto. Now, you guys know at least once or twice a week, I like to give you updates on ICP, just a general, overcast of what is going on, whether it's the news, its price, developmental activity, and much more. And today we're going to be going over a couple of those as well, because we are seeing some crucial things happening that you need to be aware of. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some ICP on up to 25x leverage, you can use my Margex link down in the description below. And the best part about it is you don't need to KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information. You just sign up, you start trading, and you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses when you do so. So make sure you go take advantage of that, guys. That's an amazing deal. Don't pass that up. That's ridiculous. So overall, let's get started. Okay, today we're going to be going over three different things. We're going to be talking about a lacking of news. We're going to be talking about what its price is doing and some developmental activity that we're seeing. Now, overall, from a news perspective, we really haven't seen much this last week. Of course, we did get some pretty decent information that Kate and I discussed on the last ICP video about 4 or 5 days ago, but realistically, things have been rather quiet, not only just from the ICP perspective, but from an ecosystemic perspective as well. I don't particularly think that's a bad thing. That's just what you get with ICP, right? And that's what I've come to recognize. It's not particularly like a Solana or maybe even, a Render where they're doing all of these partnerships every day and they have these things going on every day. It's not really at that point. They're more focused on nose to the ground, get the work done. And I can respect that. And I do think that it might sometimes be a little bit harmful because, of course, the more the news, the more the eyes, the more the price. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's a bad thing. But things have definitely been a little bit slow recently. Now, from a price perspective, things are nowhere near slow. They are definitely heating up right now, especially as ICP did just lose some support. Now, as you can see, of course, ICP had been building on top of the support level for quite a while. And I told you all, especially over on my main channel, you guys know I do daily technical, or like every day, every other day technical analysis on ICP. And I told you all there, I said, listen, realistically speaking, ascending levels of support will almost always get broken to the downside of. That's just what they do. Of course, you have to understand that ascending levels of support, especially ones that are this vertical, are unsustainable. It's just very difficult to stay above them. Any sign of bearishness will push you below them. So it's fine. And I told you all, expect this push below the support level at some given point. But what's interesting about it is that now that we have lost the support, we are already at what's called the bounce zone. And this is why I'm telling you all that this is a crucial moment, because you only get 2 bounce zones. And what that means is that you only get 2 opportunities to bounce your way back up to the upside before you completely invalidate all of this bullish momentum that we've built since August. That's pretty damn important. Okay, let me break that down a little bit more. Okay, so what ICP has been doing recently has been building a bullish structure, right? You can see it, the double bottom it put in here, the little micro cup and handle that it put in here, the fact that we built up support on top of this macro support zone right here, the fact that we did clear the 618 to 786 box right here is a very, very good sign, because it opens up the door of opportunity to the upside. So it's done a lot of bullishness in this move right here. Okay, but the sucky part is, and what kind of not too good, is that realistically speaking, when you create a structure of this nature, you have to keep continuing to put in macro higher lows. If at any given point the price of ICP falls back below the bottom side of this level right here, so let's just go ahead and call it $6.80, you completely invalidate this bullish structure, the clearing of this Fibonacci zone, and much more. And so what I've noticed is that in an instance like this, in which you have this ascending level of support, you get 2 bounce zones. Bounce zone number 1, bounce zone number 2. And if you're unable to bounce back to the upside off of either one of these, the likelihood of continuation back down to what is most likely to be $6.25 is extremely high. And again, that completely invalidates all of the bullishness that we've been building in this momentum on the price for the last month or so. Now, the question you may ask is, well, why are these the 2 bounce zones? Okay, why are these the 2 bounce zones? And it just comes down to historical data. So historically speaking, whenever you see a crypto do this, let me try to get it decently. There we go. Okay, whenever you see a crypto do that, and then you have obviously a little trend line. Okay, your trend line basically is just the points of support, the times that you touch that support level, right? Let's go ahead and just do that. Okay, the times that you touch that support level. What's going to happen is that at some given point, you're going to lose that support. It's just what historically will happen. What you know, and what we've been able to kind of just analyze throughout the history of most cryptocurrencies, is that as you do start working your way back to the downside, you are incredibly likely, and we are talking 80, 85, 90% likely to start falling back down to these previous points of support. The moments that you touch this support line are now going to be the moments or the zones in which you will try to use to bounce back to the upside. And oftentimes what we've been able to analyze is that as the price does lose one of this, say this is your bounce zone right here, it'll fall back down to your next one right here. Boom, that's your second bounce zone. And if it loses that one, you're very likely coming back down to your third bounce zone, and so on and so forth, until you eventually either find some support and continue upwards, or you lose all of them and erase this momentum that you built here. That's the situation, and that's where we are right now with ICP. So because of that, what we have right now is two bounce zones. Bounce zone number one, bounce zone number two. If ICP is capable of breaking back up towards the upside, it can use the support to really continue upwards and continue to validate this, likely rechasing an $11 price target. But if we, of course, do lose this one, we're very likely coming to this one. If we lose this one, we're very likely headed back towards the lower $6 levels to retest this key zone of support down here, completely invalidating all of this bullishness here. And so what you need to be on the watch out for is, how do we react here? Are we going to hold some support? Are we going to use this support to continue upwards, or are we going to lose them? And if we do lose them, do expect us to come back to the next one. If we lose that one, expect us to continue lower. So of course, there's no way I can predict what's going to happen. There's no way I can even guess what's going to happen to some degree. Obviously, there are some signs, right? What we can see is, for example, we have the lower low on the RSI while we're still setting in the higher low on the price. So that is somewhat bullish. From a developmental perspective, things are still looking okay. If we go over to sentiment, you can see development activity is still maintaining these new higher highs in which we've recently put in. If you do go down a little bit further, you look at trending social rank, it is still climbing, although it is, kind of pushed down a little bit. We are still seeing what does seem to be a higher low. If we go over to DeFi Llama, you can see that the total volume currently is still maintaining. If we do look at core developers are still maintaining. You look at commits are still maintaining. So it doesn't seem like any of your important fundamental metrics are collapsing or breaking or anything like that. And so because of that, it does seem like there's a good chance that we use this bounce zone to continue to the upside. But obviously, it's just going to be dependent on what ICP does, what Bitcoin does. The Bitcoin is still leading the market. If there's any news, what's going on there. So of course, I will continue to update you guys as this does play out. From a personal perspective, I am doing some buying of ICP at both of these bounce zones. I think that there's, again, a decent sized chance we do find some support and continue upwards. So I am going to be doing some buying on ICP here. And if it goes lower, I'll do a little more buying there, expecting again is to try to find some support and continue back to the top side. So again, don't forget, if you do want to trade some ICP yourself, you can use my Margex link down in the description below to trade on up to 25x leverage without needing a KYC, without needing to use a VPN. So make sure you check that out down there. Check out my main channel if you do want some more daily technical analysis based videos on Solana, ICP, Caspa, and much more. And I can't wait to see you all in the next catch up. Peace out, everybody.